My name is Matt Groves, and I had PRK done on both eyes. I run a gym, and I've been doing that for 8 years. As hobbies go, I've always been athletic, whether it's jiu-jitsu, sand volleyball. I run, all those things. I play golf, so vision was really important to me. I've been married, gonna be 4 years, and we have a dog, BB, who's awesome. I had contacts since I was probably 16, 15, somewhere in there, and I got glasses when I was probably about 12 or so, when I couldn't see the whiteboard, and I just thought it was, everyone couldn't see, and I was just squinting a bunch. And then I got into contacts as fast as I could because I was in high school sports, things of that nature. My biggest frustration with contacts was taking them out, because I used to wear monthlies, and every night you have that dreaded, my routine, the 5 to 10 minute routine of gotta take my contacts out, find the case, all the things, and especially when you're super tired, it's like the last thing you want to do. So I moved to dailies, which was kind of nice because you could just pull them out, but it was still just every day a new piece of plastic you'd have to open. It felt very wasteful, and so to just be able to see is amazing. The way I knew now was the time was I wasn't broke. But I had an HSA that I was able to use to contribute to, to this cost of the procedure. But I just kind of got fed up with it. It was, you just do it enough times, and it felt like something I've always wanted to do. And finally I was like, oh, I get to do the procedure. So Chu Vision, they were recommended to me by my eye doctor, actually. I had 2 consults. I went with one place that a bunch of people in my network had gone to, and then I figured I'll just get one more consult for why not, just to do my due diligence. And when I came here, it was not even close. I was like, all right, I'm going there. It wasn't like a LASIK mill where you walk in and they're like, all right, what's your prescription? They look at your eyes. All right, great, we'll schedule you next month. I came in for my initial consult. It was probably like 75 minutes. I was going to get LASIK, and then I met Dr. Chu, and he asked me like what my hobbies were, what I was interested in, what my lifestyle was, and based off of that conversation, like sitting down and just him listening to me, he recommended PRK, so that's why I went with PRK, and then that's why I'm here. The way I know it, which might not be correct, was PRK is, they like just blast off part of your eyeball, right? And then just grows back and it's better, where LASIK has the flap. PRK, I think, has more integrity long-term, where I was in jiu-jitsu and I was a little nervous about having some sort of like, accidental contact to my eyeball, and he was like, that's something that you might want to mitigate against that risk, and then he talked me into PRK. Yeah, laser day, you're a little nervous, of course, because you're going to shoot an eyeball with a laser, and you're like, I'm going to see better after this. You walk in, you're greeted by a nurse, they take you back, and they ask you a bunch of questions, if you're ready for prep, all those things. They ask if you want a warm blanket, obviously you do. They ask you if you want the laser gator, obviously you do. And it's the easiest thing in the world, even though everything in your head tells you that you should be nervous. Once you're on the other side of it, it's so much easier. I remember the first thing I said when I sat up was, that was it? Like, what was I afraid of? I think the whole procedure took me like 5 minutes. Yeah. My wife is very diligent in regards to researching stuff. I'm a little bit more kind of just go with the flow sort of deal. You go on Google, you read about PRK, and it says recovery time is longer, it's really painful, all those things. I didn't have any of that. Pain was non-existent. I actually went to a concert like 2 days post-op, which probably isn't recommended, but I just went for it. But in regards to pain and discomfort, incredibly mild compared to what you read. It was kind of nice to have like the day of the surgery, right when you're out of the surgery, you can see, and then they're like, it's gonna get worse from here. And then even then, it was just mild discomfort. You gotta wear sunglasses sometimes, and then after like 3 days, it's smooth sailing as long as you stay on top of the drops. I first noticed the change in vision when I would wake up in the middle of the night and just crack like one eye open and I could see out of it. And I kept thinking, I fell asleep with my contacts again. Surely I did. And then you have that moment where you realize, oh right, I got that laser surgery and I'm just gonna be able to see now. After PRK, it's much easier to do the hobbies that I wanted to do, because with jiu-jitsu, if you wear a contact, you're gonna have times where there's friction, and the likelihood of you losing a contact is not super high, but it's high enough. PRK, I can just get on the mat, I don't have to think anymore, and that's not even a concern whatsoever. So it just makes life significantly easier. Sure, the team at Chu Vision was great. During the process of the initial consult, I met with 2 different people, one being a doctor and then Dr. Chu, where they actually listened to me with what I do, what my interests were, and then fitting the surgery to me as opposed to the other way around. The care along the way, post-op, the check-in process, the nurses in pre-op, the team during the surgery, everybody looks like they've been doing this for decades, and there was no point along the way where if I had a question, I couldn't ask it, or if I ever had a concern, a comment, I could bring it up right away, and there was someone to answer it. It was fantastic. Yeah, everyone who has some sort of corrective wear, I'm always like, you should just get LASIK. Like, what are you doing? It's weird, like I still haven't wrapped my mind around like what life is now, or like the new normal for vision. But yeah, LASIK or PRK in my instance has been a game changer, so. My advice for someone who's on the fence is don't go with the buy one, get one free sort of guy. Chu Vision has been awesome, and to get this quality of help and this level of service has been fantastic. And it's, when you compare that cost over the long run, it's not even a question.